Well, what do we have here? Looks like another qualifying round here in the Album of the Year 2024 tournament. I'm Ken, and hopefully everybody there, as in there, is doing wonderful. Everybody there, as in here, is doing pretty good. So thank you for your concern. Here we are again. If you don't know what's happening, I'm going to have a special guest, and that special guest is going to be coming on at the end of this video, so make sure you stick around for that. And what we're doing is we're picking two random albums that have come out in 2024, which is this year, right now, unless you're watching this in the future. Great Scott! Anyways, I got my little baggie of albums. I'm going to pick two, listen to them, and then pick one to be moving on for Album of the Year 2024. Special guest will be doing the exact same thing. Neither of us know what albums are coming, nor will we know, well, they won't know. Well, we don't know what we're saying until we see it. Till we say it, that is. I'm excited, you can tell. Mumbling my words. I love putting my hand in this Ziploc bag. Reminds me of high school. Doesn't everything. Alright, album number one. Let's see who we got. Alright, well, this is the Imagine Dragons, and they have an album called Loom. I'll be looking forward to checking that out. I heard their last record, I believe it was only last year, maybe 2 years ago, but I really enjoyed that. So, let's see who it is, or how it is. I know who it is. Alright, and Imagine Dragons are going against, alright, well, a couple of Brits here, Liam Gallagher and John Squire. I've heard a couple of singles off this already. I'm really looking forward to checking it out. I was a pretty big Oasis fan back, well, 5'10", 180. So that size Oasis fan. So yeah, I'm looking forward to checking this out. Very much so. Well, it's going to be good. Imagine Dragons versus Liam Gallagher and John Squire. Stick around. I'm going to listen to this, review it, give you who my pick is, and our secret special guest will tell you who their pick is. We'll see who moves on, if it's anybody. Anyways, off to the review chair. Alright, well, the reviews are in. I've heard both records, Imagine Dragons and Liam Gallagher and John Squire. And yeah, I'm really happy. Both albums are good. As I mentioned earlier, Imagine Dragons' last record, and it was called Mercury. I really enjoyed that. I remember hearing it. Wasn't sure if I was going to like it going into it. I'm not a pop alternative, if that's a thing. It's not my number one place to go, but I like checking out new music, as I'm sure you know. And I was really impressed by it and the truthfulness that I felt through the singer's lyrics. It seemed to me like they were going through, or he was going through recovery or something like that. I know lots of people, in that situation. And I could really feel, like I say, the honesty. And I was really attracted to that record. It was really good. This one, Loom, it is called. Now, this is the Imagine Dragons' first record as a trio, as it were. So yeah, three of them. Their drummer left last year, so it's pretty interesting considering Imagine Dragons. I remember seeing them live on TV, Grey Cup or something years ago, and they had 4 or 5 drummers across, and like percussion is such a big piece of their sound. So it was interesting to hear that that was removed, and I feel like I noticed, to be honest. The songs were kind of similar to the last time, post-recovery, dealing with, choices that, we all probably wish we hadn't made earlier in our lives. It was kind of like that, but like it was just a little flat for me. But I did like the record. It's really good. I'll definitely listen to it again. And let me just see here. I had a cripple of a couple of songs I really liked written down here. So there was one that was called "Take Me to the Beach," which I really enjoyed. Which way to the beach? It's not that way. It's that way. Just wouldn't work for this. And what was another one here? Oh, a song called Eyes Closed, which I really like. And I suggest everybody to do. Actually, as a practice, keep your eyes closed. Be aware. Close those eyes. See the truth. And yeah, so that was the Imagine Dragons. Now they were going up against Liam Gallagher, from Oasis, and John Squire, guitar player from the Stone Roses. And yeah, this is a really cool record. It reminded me of Stone Roses and Oasis. Um, Kind of interesting to have Liam Gallagher singing the songs of a guitar player, John Squire, much like Oasis when he was singing the songs of guitar player Noel Gallagher. Really good. Liam does a great job. He's a great singer. He has a character, and well, Muppety sometimes. Great character and great vocal. Reminds me of John Lennon a little bit, and I'm sure that's a compliment to him. John Squire's guitar playing was really good. It was kind of like Oasis, but they stepped up just a tiny bit in the lead guitar department. Anyways, rhythm section was good. I'm a big fan of Brit rock, and this, satisfied that hunger. Garr. A couple of songs I have here for maybe you guys to check out if you'd like to. One was called Make It Up As You Go Along, and well, right? And another one was called I'm So Bored, which was pretty cool. It's just kind of like bored with everything in life. And I'm sure everybody feels like that sometimes. I know I do. And yeah, so John Squire, Liam Gallagher versus Imagine Dragons. Only one can move on. And for me, that will be Liam Gallagher and John Squire. I think it's a great record. And depending on what our special guest has to say, I feel like this record could go pretty far in the tournament. But we'll see. Who knows? Speaking of our special guest, today we have Katie Pascoe from Fresh Breath. And if you've not heard that band, check them out, Fresh Breath. And maybe I'll put something down somewhere. And yeah, I hear that their bass player is one heck of a dude. Anyways, here's Katie.
Hey Ken, thank you so much for asking me to be a part of your album review project. This is really cool. I had a lot of fun listening to these two albums. We're doing Loom by Imagine Dragons and Liam Gallagher and John Squire. Right off the hop, I hadn't heard either of these albums, and I don't think I really would have listened to them if you hadn't sent them to me. So first of all, thank you so much for sending them to me because they were great. Both had really awesome qualities, very different. Again, we're looking at two completely different albums in my opinion. I started with Imagine Dragons because that was the first one that you sent me. I had heard obviously some Imagine Dragons songs in the past, and so I kind of had a little bit of an expectation of what I would hear, and it met that basically. Not really my favorite type of music, but mega huge appreciation for the production value quality that they have. It's very produced. To me, it's a little bit too much production from what I would like to listen to, but impressive, like very impressive. A lot of great songs. The melodies were really, really strong. Obviously, he has a really awesome vocal. There were quite a lot of dancey tracks, which was fun. Take Me to the Beach song was like a really fun, funky kind of beach song. Kind of silly, but I also kind of really liked it. There was a couple songs where I was like, these are really cool lyrics. Again, I kind of just went off of like what grabbed my attention. I would write a little note down about each song. But at some point in this Imagine Dragons album, the drums started sounding really electronic to me, and I just started to kind of lose interest a little bit. And then Fire in These Hills kind of won me over, that track with, it was like an Arkells inspired vocal. The lyrics were really great. So if I had to pick a favorite song off of the Loom album, it would be Fire in These Hills. And then yeah, I moved on to Liam Gallagher and John Squire. Again, I know Oasis, but I had never really heard of any of this combination or this album at all. I didn't even know this was a thing. So I was excited to listen to it. The intro got me right away. great lyrics and vibe. More of a live sound. I felt it was less production for sure. I think in a good way. And right off the bat, I was like, guitar solos, amplifiers, a real like live off the floor sound kind of came through to me, which always grabs my attention. Mars to Liverpool, I really liked. Loved the first line. It sounded like the Beatles. Really cool, great licks, and a real fullness to the sound. I made a note here that I added it to my playlist, so that got extra points. Really great song progressions with Liam Gallagher and John Squire. I thought that they were, kind of advanced and really interesting, grabbed my ear. Halfway through the album, there was this excellent guitar solo, and I just really got hooked in, and I thought it kind of sounded like a Hendrix vibe, which is one of my favorite guitarists, and added that song to my playlist as well. So again, we're getting extra points here. And then the next track, Love You Forever, the Hendrix vibe just like exploded. It was like this purple haze, like lip curling, like John had said about the other albums that he reviewed. This song really, I loved it instantly. I was like, you know what, this might be my new obsession, and I might be just discovering my new favorite song. So I was super excited about that. And it had this really cool outro, like that song, again, added to my playlist, and I'm gonna actually add the whole album to my library because of that song. And then I wrote fucking brilliant lyrics. Really liked it. Had this really cool vibe, easy, laid back, but also kind of in your face with the guitar solo and the progressions. It just really had this like edginess to it. I thought it was great. I gave that album a 10 out of 10. I thought it was fantastic. It might be one of my new favorite albums. So I'm going with Liam Gallagher and John Squire. Excited to see what you thought.
All right, everybody. Well, you've heard from Katie. Thank you, Katie, for doing this for me. Really appreciate it, and I'm glad that you got turned on to some new music. That's awesome, and ultimately the point of all of this. So great, and thank you. And it looks like Imagine Dragons. Sorry, just not today. It's just not going to happen for you guys. However, we both agree. Liam Gallagher, John Squire, bang up job. And this record will be moving on to round one. I'm excited to see whoever they're going to be facing off. And yeah, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this review. Hopefully you're getting turned on to new music as well. And if you'd like to be a guest reviewer like Katie just was, it's as simple as messaging me. I'll send you a couple of random records. You take a listen to them and just let me know what you think. Send me a video and pick one to move on in the tournament. It's that simple. If we agree, that album moves on, the other album's out, and I love it when that happens, which is right now. And yeah, man, so Katie and Ken, KK Connection, we're taking a trip across the pond, as it were. Not to New Zealand, though. That's where Brett is. But across the pond. Yes. Have a great day. I'll see you next one.